Good afternoon. Welcome to AdventureHoppers.com. Today we're going to talk about putting permethrin on our clothes. I've got a hiking trip coming up, Superior Hiking Trail coming up, so I want to make sure my clothes have a good coating of permethrin on it. Permethrin, for those who don't know, is an insecticide. It'll keep mosquitoes, gnats, ticks, no-see-ums, flies, anything like that off of you. They don't like the smell of it, number one. Number two, if they do get on it, it'll actually kill them on contact. So it's a really good insecticide. Doesn't seem to be any side effects. You soak your clothes in. I usually try to do this a couple times a year. I usually start in the spring, midsummer. This is my third time this year, and that's because I'm going on a hike and I want to make sure my clothes are good and covered. So before we get started, I want to talk about what I've got here equipment-wise. I've got a 5-gallon bucket. I got these at Ace, Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, whatever you got in your area will work just fine. I'm going to put my mix into this bucket. I've got another bucket down here that'll be for weight. What I've done to kind of prep for this is I'm going to mix up about 2 gallons of permethrin. So I've got a gallon in here already. I've got another gallon here. Just need something to measure out a gallon. So I've got this pitcher. Pour that in there, and then I've got another gallon. You'll see how I use it here in a little bit. So what I've got is I'm going to be covering all of my clothes that I'll be taking on the trip with me. Soaking most of them. I do have a few I'll spray, like jackets and things like that I really don't want to get completely soaked before I go on the trip. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and mix up the permethrin. There is my 2 gallons of water in there now. The permethrin I buy is 36.8%. You can get this on Amazon. It's about 25 bucks a quart. If you look at the Sawyer stuff, it's about 20 bucks, and it'll last you one fraction of this. This is a very highly concentrated mixture ratio of 1 gallon of water to 2 ounces of permethrin. So I'll be taking about 4 ounces of permethrin and putting in there. Let me go ahead and get that ready. And a nice little squeeze bottle. I always try to get the squeeze bottle. It's got it measured out on there, and kind of just squeeze. Kind of squeeze the amount up into that bottle, and that's an ounce. 1, 2, 3, and 4 ounces. Okay, that's going to look a little cloudy. Once you mix that up, it'll be in the thing. It'll look a little cloudy. I kind of swirl it around a little bit. Don't want to get your hands in there. One thing I do want to talk about before we get too much further along, anytime I handle this stuff, I always wear rubber gloves. Not that I've had any trouble with it. You'll see in this video, I'll actually be soaking all my clothes, including my underwear, for this trip. So I'm not worried about the interaction with my skin, but at a highly concentrated level, just want to make sure I don't have any issues. So let me go ahead and put these gloves on. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put this stuff into the solution. I just pretty much take everything, open it up the best I can. If there's buttons or zippers or anything like that, try to open them up. I want to try to get the solution all around it on the clothes. A lot of people want to look at spraying just the outside of their clothes, but bugs are pretty persistent. They'll climb up into your clothes. They'll get just about anywhere you want. So I got my pants. I got a hoodie I'll be taking. I'm going to get in. Shirt. Like I said, my underwear is going in there as well. Got a pair of shorts I'll be sleeping in, and then actually some thermals, just in case it gets cold at night. They're pretty lightweight thermals. I also want to be able to get my socks. Don't want the bugs crawling up your legs. And you'll see here in a little bit, I'll be spraying a few other things. I've got a jacket, some gloves, and I've got my boots. I'll be spraying the outside of my boots as well. Obviously don't want to soak boots in there. So anyway, with that rubber glove on, kind of push everything down into the bucket, get everything soaked real good. Let me get you a picture of that. So you can kind of see, got everything down in there. As I push it down, it gets covered up real good. Okay, so what you want to do is make sure all that stays under there and that water level stays high enough that you can get that permethrin on everything. Once I got all my clothes in there, what I like to do is make sure everything's soaked real good, soaking down in the water. We're going to let this sit for about 20 minutes, let everything soak in real good, and then we're just going to hang it up in this line I got up here behind me to let it dry out. So what I want to do now is just put a little weight on there just to kind of keep everything pushed down into the water level. There's about a gallon of water in there. That may not be enough weight. Probably need to get another gallon. I'll probably add another gallon in there just to kind of push down a little harder, make sure that solution level covers the clothes, keeps it soaked in good for the next 20 minutes. So go ahead and set a timer and we'll be back in 20 minutes. So what we have left over in the bucket, pour into a sprayer, and that's how we're going to spray the clothes down. So I've got a couple of items up here, starting out with my gloves. Just kind of soak them real good. You know, it's not going to be so wet that they're going to be dripping off like your clothes were. But you definitely want to get good coverage on them. Make sure that if any bugs get on any of this stuff, it's gonna kill it too. So I got my jacket opened up on that side. You'll be able to see here in a minute. I'll be spraying both the inside and the outside of the jacket. You know, this is a water repellent jacket, so it's just kind of beat up on the outside. Probably beat up on the inside too when I get around there, but. You know, I don't know how much this is going to really soak in. It definitely can't hurt though. My water repellency of this jacket may be a little low right now. I did have got caught in a rainstorm on one of my trips before and got really soaked in that jacket. So lesson learned, just make sure if you're going to get out of your tent in the rain, even if it's not raining at the moment, that it can start at any time and you could be completely soaked before you really have a chance to even react to it. So that should do those items, and then that should finish this up. So welcome back. So it's been 20 minutes. We're going to take our clothes out. We're just going to hang them up. I've got some clips already put up there. We're just going to take this out. It's going to drip off some of that permethrin off the bottom. Just going to set it down here where it doesn't bother anything, and then I'm going to start hanging stuff up. So usually what I do is I'll pick it up, I'll wring it out, and then they just hang it up. Socks and stuff like that, I'll probably take close to a 10 to 12 hours, depending on the humidity, maybe a little bit longer to dry. Some of your lightweight nylon pants and nylon synthetic shirts will dry very quickly. So that's about it. We just take everything, we hang it up, and we let it dry out. Pack it up and get ready for your trip. So I hope everybody enjoyed the lesson today, got quite a good information out of it. And again, if you want to come back and see us again, we're at adventurehoppers.com, on Facebook and Twitter at AdventureHoppers, and on Instagram at The Adventure Hoppers. So be sure to check us out. Bye.